If you have more than 10 statuses in your Jira workflow, you're probably doing something very, very wrong. So let me show you how to consolidate that down and what to do instead. So we have our workflow for content creation. Very simple, very basic, right? We took kind of what our general process looks like, what typical processes look like for content creation. We boiled that down into a few different columns. But the problem is we don't have some of the things that are associated with each of the different steps. So I like to call these exit criteria, right? You have things like from packaging to production. During that transition, we need to make sure that there's thumbnails, that there's titles, the angle is formalized, and there's a high-level overview of what's being talked about, or basically like a high-level script. So to have all of those things in there and to not muddy up all of the individual statuses that we have inside of our board, there are a couple of things we have available to us inside of Jira that can help. So the first thing, and probably the most common that I see used, are subtasks. And the way that this would work is, for example, I have this piece of content on how to use automations. All I would do is add subtasks for the exit criteria. So in this case, it might be create thumbnail, there we go. And then I might add another one for create titles. And then I might add another one for formalize script. And there we go. We have our kind of exit criteria subtasks that must be completed before we actually move forward. I'll show you in just a moment how to bake this into a validator to not only have these available here, but also require them to be done before this moves forward from packaging to ready for recording. But for now, we'll just look at it in this kind of subtask view. And as someone who might be working on this piece of content for automations, I'll jump in and I'll just mark these done as they're done, right? I'll click on this, I'll click, actually needs its own workflow, which we'll cover in a second as well. But we'll go in, we'll just mark it done, mark all of these done when they need to be completed. And from there, we'll move forward with moving the entire piece of work or the entire piece of content forward. So let's go ahead and jump into the workflows to make sure that we're actually setting these up right for the subtasks individually, but also so that we include validators potentially if we want to. It's definitely something you need to be careful of to not add in too much restrictions, right? You want to keep things simple. You don't want things to be overly complex. You don't want there to be too many restrictions for your team, for your company to use this board. Otherwise, again, it'll just never be used. But you have to strike that balance of how much restriction do we need so that we actually adhere to the process versus keeping things simple enough to actually be utilized. So let's go to our space settings. And in here, I'm actually going to just create a brand new workflow, either a template one or just add a workflow that already exists. And the goal would just be to break out the subtasks into their own very basic, to do, in progress done style workflow. So we'll add one, we'll add an existing one, and I should have something in here out of box in Jira that is good enough to use. Maybe this one here, maybe this basic one. This basic one might work. It's a little too complicated though. This classic one, actually, let's use this classic one. We just have open, in progress, resolved, reopen, and close. This should be perfectly fine, although I would go even simpler in some cases, but this is one we have available to us that we could use right now. So I'll set that as the new workflow. And now I'm gonna be asked to migrate some of the current statuses into the new ones. The reason we're being asked this is because we already have existing subtasks with existing statuses. So we need to map those over, and the only ones we have, I believe, are the create idea ones, because we haven't really progressed anything in terms of the workflow. And all we're going to need to do is make sure we set that to open. If you do have other tasks or other work items in existing statuses, make sure to map the rest of these. I am skipping them because I know that we only have things in the create ideas, and I am okay with them going into open. So I'll just associate that migration will run. And now our workflow will be a lot simpler for subtasks. And this is part of the reason some people and some companies, some teams, a lot of the clients I work with don't actually like subtasks for things like this because they tend to be a little bit too heavy. And I actually prefer to almost never use subtasks inside of Jira just for this reason, because they have their own workflows, they have their own work card when you open it. And for a lot of the things that I want to do, kind of have like a checklist or just a high level overview of what needs to be done, maybe set something in progress, check it off and move forward. This is way too much. I'll show you the other alternatives in just a second, but really with subtasks, we just set up our brand new workflow. All I have to do is, mark these as resolved. When they are ready to be resolved, we have some screens popping up here that we'd want to get rid of for sure, but just for example's sake, there we go. And now I could go ahead and move forward once everything is completed with my subtask. So that really is option one. The biggest Jira mistake I see being made is when teams try to achieve a goal by implementing Jira. but they miss the execution layer. This is the thing that allows you to achieve your goals inside of your tool layer. And if you're curious how we implement the grid operating system with our clients, hit the first link in the description below. Option 2 is action items. And action items pretty much exclusively go into the description. These I actually really like to use in a lot of cases, but there's a lot of scenarios where they just don't work quite as well. So all we need to do to add an action item is you either type slash and then action item, it's actually the first one that pops up, or what you could do is just type in the 2 brackets and then click space and action item is created for you. So then we just add in like @Josh, do this thing, right? Or I'll say create thumbnail. Create thumbnail, there we go, and I could keep going, @Josh or anyone else on my team, create titles, and that's pretty much it. That's your action item. It's very lightweight, nothing else to it. You go in, you check these off, and you move forward. Now, again, these are kind of the opposite of subtasks. There's zero information associated with them other than what you're writing, no cards open, there's no workflow, and on a very high level, if you need a checklist, that's very, very, very simple. This will get the job done. Now, the reason I don't like these as much either in some cases is that we can't automate them to be created, unfortunately, right? If you have, for example, things moving into the packaging column, I would want to automate checklists or subtasks to be created whenever we hit the packaging column with whatever exit criteria or things we want to get done in this column. So rather than, again, having a status for each of these and making sure that, okay, we do the title, we do the thumbnail, we finalize the script, we pull that all into one column of packaging and we include all the sub items for packaging inside a checklist or inside subtasks. Or there's a secret third option that you actually don't know about, which I'll share in just a second. But really, the subtasks are very heavy. The checklists are very light. Most of the time, I like something in the middle. And this is where we get to our third option. And that is going to be to use a checklist plugin. So we kind of covered plugins before quite a bit of times. I'm sure you all know that there are Jira plugins, and there's a ton of them for checklists. So all I have to do is search checklist, and you'll get a million of these that pop up. Probably my favorite ones are Did It checklists. Those are pretty great. There's also Hero checklists, which are decent. And other than that, I don't know which ones I'd recommend here, other than Power Tools, which is by far my favorite. So if you're looking for one app that is going to be able to do checklists, but also a lot of other things that are relevant in Jira, this is an app myself and my team created, and it has checklists included. So I'll just hit try for free. We'll go ahead and get this installed. And it's a perfect kind of lightweight option that is right in between the checklist and right in between the subtasks or action items and subtasks. And I'll show you exactly how it works. So while that installs, let's go into our validators, because validators are sometimes really great and sometimes very, very overpowered. Because you could imagine, right, if I'm an end user and I'm jumping into this workflow that we have here, and our goal is to keep this very, very simple. If every single time I move a card to a new column, and I'm prompted to like fill out 3 things, add new fields, new context, new information, fill things out, I am going to be so incentivized to not use this that I probably will either hate it or I will just never come back to it. So we have to be very, very careful how we approach including validators, because this is probably the biggest thing I see done wrong in Jira when we go to implement cards being moved from one column or one status to the next. So I'll show you how to do this, but tread lightly and only use these when you absolutely need to. So we've already looked at workflows before, but I'll go ahead and jump into my task in YouTube one. This is the same cards that we have in our board view. And all we need to do is click on a transition. So in this case, we're going from packaging to production. I'll click on the arrow, not the status, the arrow. And then here we have some rules that pop up. And I could add restrictions, request input, validate details, or perform actions in here. And if I view all, you could kind of see all the rules here. And I could just click here to add whatever rules I need to. So this is how we add our actions, our conditions, our validators. And really there's a couple of options here. We could request input or show a screen for individuals to fill out, or we could validate details to make sure there's certain things that happened before we actually hit the next column. So for example, it might need to go through a specific stage or status, or kind of the most common one here is we validate a specific field. Really common one here as a common example is going to be assignee. When you jump in and actually create a ticket or a work item and before that whole work item wraps up and you want to do some reporting on who's been working on it, you might want to validate the assignee to make sure it actually has an assignee. So let's go ahead and set that up as an example. We'll go ahead and click validate a field. We'll choose the option here, which is make sure that it's not empty. We'll choose which field we want to include here. We'll click on assignee, and then we want to type in an error message. Please enter value for assignee. There we go. And we'll click on add. So that's it. That's how we add validators. We could do the same exact thing, for example, with subtasks. So I'll add a rule and I'll search here inside of the all rules for subtask. And we can make sure that we restrict based on the status of subtasks. So we can require subtasks to be done before something moves forward. That's a very common option, and one where, for example, if you have kind of those exit criteria listed as subtasks, you can restrict that status or that stage from moving from, say, packaging into the next stage. What was it? The production stage, until we check off and complete every single one of those subtasks. That is an option. So, and this is why I love the checklist app, because we can do pretty much the same thing with checklist items. So I'll show you exactly how those work, because we get the benefits of the subtasks with the simplicity of the action items. Now, this is absolutely not something you have to use, but it is something that does give me a lot of utility inside of Jira. And when we come into our, actually I might need to enable it first because all of the features are toggle on. So we'll go to our app settings really quick. We'll go to enable and disable features, and then we'll want to make sure to toggle on the checklist feature specifically. And the reason this is like this is because there's so many features that if you have all of them on, they'll probably get a little bit annoying. So I toggled that one on. We should be good to go. I'll head back to my content creation space. And now I'm going to have an option to add in checklists. So I'm going to click my little view app actions, click checklist, and now we can do the same thing we did essentially with subtasks, except this time they're lightweight checklist items. So I'll go ahead and add in create thumbnail, there we go, and then create title, and then formalize script. So same exact thing that we did with our subtasks, except this time I could go in here and there's a very simple, I wouldn't even call this a workflow. Like I could set things in progress. I could set things as skipped. I could check things off to complete them. And they're kind of these lightweight things that you can easily use and implement whenever you're actually looking at them inside of your work items. And we could validate them later as well if that's something you wanted to do. So again, kind of the best of both worlds, and kind of why I like to use them personally whenever setting up like these exit criterias. So that's pretty much all of our exit criteria and all of our validators. We, again, want to use this only when we absolutely have to, with validators in particular. And I would actually encourage you just to train the team to make sure they're actually following and adhering to the checklist items or the subtasks or the action items versus trying to mandate and require them, right? Because we're trying to create a process. We're trying to create a system, an execution layer that is actually going to be followed, one that is actually going to get adopted. And in order to do that, we don't want to require everything under the sun for our teams to fill out, to submit, to add context to, because we're just going to create so much bureaucracy inside of Jira that no one's going to ever want to use it again. And that's what we want to avoid here. We want to avoid that kind of bureaucracy inside of Jira and requiring everything that we possibly can. Keep things simple. And really my rule of thumb when it comes to total amount of statuses in Jira is to, when you're looking at it, not need to scroll horizontally. I am on a laptop here, so we could cut it a little bit of slack, but if you have like a typical monitor, 22-inch, and you are looking at this board view, the goal would be to see every column without having to scroll. And the reason that's my goal is that I can immediately know, based on how far to the right a card is or a work item is, how far along it is to being completed. That's kind of the best visual cue and why I like board views so much. Because you can look at the board and say, okay, this one's in the middle, it's about halfway done. This one's almost done because it's very close to the right side. These are all on the very left side, so they're not anywhere near done, right? So that's kind of my rule of thumb when I look at these boards. How little amount of statuses can we get away with? And can I get a really good idea without almost not having to scroll horizontally at all whenever looking at that board view? So that's our validators, our conditions, and really how to set up that exit criteria. And all I would do is go through everything that we've kind of mapped out. And the goal would be any kind of high-level statuses that have kind of requirements or things that we must complete before it moves forward. Create those as your sort of checklist items, subtasks, or action items. One of those three options are always going to be your best friend. And you could even, very simply put them into the description, kind of like what I did with the checklist items. And this is great, but what we do, for example, with our content creation board is we actually put all of our contents into the description, like the actual thumbnails, the actual titles. We have a nice little table that's broken out there, the links to all the content and everything else, which is why we don't really like adding action items to the description. But in a lot of other scenarios, we do like doing that. And if you must, use something very simple, just throw action items into the description and you could probably get more than what you need out of the native functionality in Jira. And then if you do need something more robust, specific, checklist items or subtasks are a really good option for those. And subtasks, I do like sometimes, as I mentioned, and really the goal with them is to make sure you're keeping your workflows as simple as possible. Like, don't overcomplicate the workflows for your subtasks, because then if your subtasks are running through the whole entire process that your parent work item is running through, or your piece of content in this case, you're going to not really necessarily make a lot of sense in a lot of these types of checklist items. For example, creating the thumbnail doesn't need to run through, your packaging, your production, and your editing. Usually it's just a kind of one and done type of event, or maybe there's a couple of statuses associated with it. So keeping things very simple, very streamlined is kind of the way to go to make sure that this specific implementation is actually going to get adopted by your team. Hey, real quick. Every company has goals and every company has tools like Jira, but almost every company is missing the middle. This is a system that connects your goals to the work your team actually does every single day. And without it, you end up chasing updates, sitting through status meetings, and wondering where projects actually stand. We call this missing middle the execution layer. And I recorded a free 90-second breakdown that shows you how the grid operating system fixes this missing middle. Links in the description below, and back to the video.